Why was Kim Jong-nam assassinated? Kim Jong-nam was the oldest of the North Korean leader's children and the heir apparent to the title of Great Leader. But after a visit to Japan with a forged passport, he was arrested and sent home in shame. After that, his younger brother became the new heir-to-be, and Nam was cast out of all power positions, and exiled from North Korea in 2003. Kim Jong-nam then became a critic of his family's regime and his younger half-brother, Kim Jong-un, who in 2011 became the new supreme leader, and Un would now order a standing order for his brother's murder. In 2017, in a stunning and elaborate assassination plot, taking place in full view of the people at the Malaysian International Airport, Kim Jong-nam was assassinated with the nerve agent VX. But why was Kim Jong-nam killed in an operation that would be worthy of a James Bond movie, but also in a move that the North Koreans must have understood that the entire world would know who the perpetrators were? This is the story of Kim Jong-nam and his brutal murder.
이것은 매그너스와의 역사입니다.
Kim Jong-nam was the oldest of the North Korean dictator's children and was reported to have had a personality very much like that of his father, and also to be his father's favorite. Jong-nam was described by his aunt as being hot-tempered, sensitive, and gifted in the arts. She also said in 2000 that Nam did not wish to succeed his father. Like Kim Jong-il, he was interested in film. He wrote scripts and short films from a young age, and his father also created a small movie set for him to use. Because we all do that for our children, create movie sets for them to play with. In 1998, Kim Jong-nam was appointed to a senior position in the Ministry of Public Security, and he was also reported to have been appointed head of the North Korean Computer Committee, in charge of developing an information technology industry. In January 2001, he accompanied his father to Shanghai, where he had talks with Chinese officials on the IT industry. Kim Jong-nam was being groomed for leadership. Nam at this time has also been described as the closest North Korea ever had to an international playboy and gained a reputation for gambling, drinking, and arranging the occasional business deal. In May 2001, Kim Jong-nam was arrested in Japan on arrival at Narita International Airport. He was accompanied by 2 women and a 4-year-old boy who was identified as his son. He was traveling with a forged Dominican passport using a Chinese alias, Peng Xiong, meaning Fat Bear. After being detained, he was deported to China, where he said he was traveling to Japan to visit Tokyo's Disneyland. The incident caused his father to cancel a planned visit to China due to the embarrassment it caused him. 2 years later, in February 2003, the Korean People's Army began a propaganda campaign under the slogan, "The respected mother is the most faithful and loyal subject to the dear leader comrade supreme commander." This was interpreted as praise of Ko Young-hee, one of the great leader's many mistresses, and likely part of a campaign to promote Kim Jong-chul or Kim Jong-un, her sons, as the new leader. This signaled the end of the line for Kim Jong-nam's prospects, and he was exiled from North Korea later that year. Nam's loss of favor was thought to have been caused by the Tokyo incident. However, Kim Jong-nam himself claimed that he had fallen out of favor due to advocating reform. To a Japanese newspaper, Kim Jong-nam said that after being educated in Switzerland, he insisted on reforms and opening of the markets in North Korea, leading his father to conclude that he had turned into a capitalist. Kim Jong-un was now the new heir apparent, and left in charge while his father was on a state visit to China. The sinking of a South Korean ship in March 2010, by North Korea, was part of Kim Jong-il's attempt to secure succession for his son Kim Jong-un. And in this way, Un had shown the military leaders of North Korea that he had what it took to become the new supreme leader. In late December 2011, Kim Jong-un was declared the new supreme leader of North Korea after his father had died. Kim Jong-nam, while traveling to see his brother Kim Jong-chul in Munich, survived an assassination attempt at the Budapest Ferihegy International Airport in July 2006. According to South Korean intelligence sources, Kim Jong-un soon after his coronation as the new leader, issued a standing order to have his half-brother killed, and in 2012, there was another assassination attempt on Kim Jong-nam, who later that year sent a letter to his half-brother, begging for his life. The two half-brothers had never actually met, because of the ancient Korean practice of raising potential successors separately, and Nam had spent most of his years growing up in the Soviet Union with his mother, and later educated in Switzerland. The Japanese journalist Yoji Gomi, who had interviewed Nam on numerous occasions, reported that Jong-nam said that he expected the leadership of Kim Jong-un to fail, citing that Un was too young and inexperienced. He also stated that, without reforms, North Korea will collapse, and when such changes take place, the regime will collapse too. A few months before the assassination, two young women, Sidi Asia and Don Tae-hung, had been approached by a handsome young man who said he was a TV producer.
Kayak lucu juga kan, ikut syuting, katanya ikut syuting gimana, saya bilang kan. Syuting kayak buat lucu-lucuan gitu, lucu-lucuan gimana, kayak gimana ya, terkenal kayak boom-boom prank. Jadi saya juga mikirnya, oh ya udahlah gitu.
The women thought they were taking part in a hidden camera show and participated in several stunts with James. For months, Kim Jong-un's agents groomed Sidi and Don Tae to ambush unsuspecting members of the public and smother their faces with cosmetic creams, and paying them after each stunt. Sidi meets James at a cafe at the airport, where she is informed who's the target of the prank is. James points the victim out.
Kasih, oh ya gitu, saya ke tangan saya gitu.
The two women get liquid on their hands, but this time, it isn't baby oil, but the deadly nerve agent VX. The women readies themselves for what they believe is just another prank. As Kim Jong-nam walks toward the AirAsia self-check-in, the 25-year-old Indonesian woman Sidi slips out from behind a pillar. She quickly covers Nam's eyes and then wipes her hands over his mouth, leaving an oily substance on his face. Sidi Asia quickly apologizes before disappearing into the crowd. A second later, the Vietnamese woman, Don Tae-hung, throws her arms over Nam's shoulders and rubs her hands across his face. She also apologized, before quickly moving in the opposite direction of where the Sidi had disappeared. The two women head to the bathroom and wash their hands, and in this way unknowingly saving their own lives. This was something they had been told to do by their North Korean handlers, who needed the scapegoats alive to draw the attention, and to give the real operators time to make their escapes. The extremely poisonous VX is now seeping into Jong-nam's body, causing his muscles to constantly contract as if struck by endless cramps. He then stumbles towards the bathroom, but makes a fatal mistake and reroutes to a nearby information desk instead. If he had gone straight to the bathroom and washed the poison off, he would have had a chance to survive. At the information desk he says in English, very painful, I was sprayed with liquid." By the time an attendant leads him to 3 policemen, Nam could now only groan incoherently. After only 3 minutes, Jong-nam's knees had stiffened and his feet dragged and he has trouble breathing. In the airport clinic, Nam collapsed as his lungs contracted, stopping the air in his lungs to get out. Jong-nam was carried out to an ambulance, but died when his heart flatlined, 15 minutes after being smeared with the poison. The 2 women involved were quickly arrested, but it soon became evident that they had not been alone in the act. Several people can be seen monitoring the 2 women and Kim Jong-nam from different places in the airport. The man in black walking near this door is checking on Kim Jong-nam. This is one of the North Korean operatives in the operation. But there were several other agents also involved in the plot. There were lookout men, and also a getaway driver. A chemist who handled the nerve agent is arrested and later caught on camera, getting his story straight with North Korean embassy officials.
그때 가져가고 관리를 다 하고 그냥 공부할 수 있다고 이거 이거 다 하는 거 이렇게 해서 발굴을 해주세요. 저는 그래서 우리도
The leader of the operation is seen here. His code name was Grandpa. Malaysian authorities said that these North Koreans were able to flee the country on the same day as the killing. They have all been identified as Ri Ji Hyen, Hong Song Hak, Oh Jong Gil and Ri Jae Nam. But some of the operators were not able to flee and were questioned by the police, but they were released and deported after a diplomatic row broke out between Malaysia and North Korea over the incident, where several Malaysian citizens were held hostage by Pyongyang. The deported men were Ri Ju-yu, also known as James, he was the two women's handler. Hyen Kwang Song, second secretary at the North Korean embassy in Kuala Lumpur. Kim Yu-il, staff member of North Korea's state airline. And Ri Jong-kol. After 2 years, the murder charges were dropped against the women, although Siti Asia pled guilty to voluntarily causing hurt by dangerous weapons or means and received a sentence of 3 years and 4 months. On April 1, 2019, the murder charge against Don Tae-hong was also dropped, and she pleaded guilty to a lesser charge. She was sentenced to 3 years and 4 months in prison, but received a 1/3 reduction in her term, and was released on May 3, 2019. Kim Jong-nam was the greatest threat to Kim Jong-un. He had a very much legitimate claim to the throne, and if opponents wanted a new supreme leader, Nam would be the obvious choice. Kim Jong-nam had friendly ties to China and was by them considered as a possible candidate to replace Kim Jong-un if the North Korean leadership imploded and China needed a replacement in its client state. Nam's murder was of course also a stern warning, aimed at high-level North Korean defectors such as Tae Yong-ho, the former North Korean ambassador to Great Britain, who had spoken out publicly. It proved to be most effective, because Tae Yong-ho and several others cancelled all public appearances and have kept a low profile ever since. This was far from Kim Jong-un's first purge though. In 2013 he started the biggest purge since his grandfather Kim Il-sung cleaned house 50 years earlier. Whether the people purged actually were plotting against the young new dictator is unknown, but not only were suspected officers and party members jailed or executed, but also arrested his powerful uncle, Jang Song-thaek. He was arrested during a party meeting where all the most important people in North Korea were present. The surprising purge of Jang Song-thaek, who once was considered the force behind the young leader, delivered a chilling message to any aspiring usurpers. No one was beyond the great leader's reach, not even his own family. There were now no doubt who was the top dog in North Korea. On June 10, 2019, The Wall Street Journal, citing former U.S. officials, stated that Kim Jong-nam had been a CIA source. A book by Anna Fifield, Washington Post bureau chief in Beijing, had earlier reported this, stating that he had been previously filmed abroad with a U.S. intelligence agent, and had carried a backpack containing $120,000 in cash. After his exile, Nam needed a new source of income, and this was something the Western intelligence services recognized and recruited him as a source. With Kim Jong-nam they could get a unique insight into the inner circle of the North Korean regime, but that probably was also the last nail in Kim Jong-nam's coffin. Kim Jong-nam's eldest son, Kim Han-sol, appeared in a video shortly after and confirmed his father's death. He is said to take after his father in terms of holding open-minded views about the world, and he has publicly expressed hope for reunification of the two Koreas, and has referred to his uncle Kim Jong-un as a dictator.
father has been killed a few days ago. I'm currently with my mother and my sister, and we're very grateful to Adrian for his help. Adrian and his team for his help, and we hope this gets better soon. Yeah.
Sebelum kejadian ini terjadi, saya nggak tahu menau tentang Kim Jong-un. Nggak nyangka bisa sejauh ini terlibat kasus pembunuhan gitu.
Please leave a comment below on your thoughts about Kim Jong-nam's assassination. And if you liked this presentation, please like, subscribe and remember to push the notification button so you don't miss next time I upload. And please check out my other videos on this channel to see if there are other videos you find interesting. And I hope to see you in the next one.